up and get your joy up. Embrace this brand new day. Let light and love fill you up. Get your morning cup of Jubilee. So much goodness waiting, so much overflow. All this anticipation. Morning cup of Jubilee. Faith, love, and joy, the equation. Feeding your soul, you're amazing. Daily you're celebrating. Morning cup of Jubilee.
Good morning. You have tuned into Morning Cup of Jubilee. Listen, I'm sorry I don't have my mug this morning, but there's reasons for that, okay? There's reasons. The reasons. All right? Look, I hope you have your mug. I hope that you have your tumbler, your sippy cup, whatever it is, because it's still time for the play of the day. All right? It's still time for the play of the day. Now, y'all know I'm working on being a DJ, okay? So this is going to be yours truly singing Look Up. Are you ready? All right, let's see. Am I ready is the question. Am I ready to be a DJ again? Whoa.
Look up, my child, look up, my child, look up, my child. It's where your help comes from. Look up, my child, look up, my child, look up, my child. It's where your help comes from. Love is standing where you are. Hope is standing where you are. Joy is standing where you are. Rest is standing where you are. Look up, my child. Look up, my child. Look up, my child. It's where your help comes from. Look up, my child. Look up, my child. Look up, my child. It's where your help comes from. Love is standing where you are. Promise standing where you are. Greatness standing where you are. Victory standing where you are. Look up, my child. Look up, my child. Look up, my child. It's where your help comes from. Look up, my child. Look up, my child. Look up, my child. It's where your help comes from. Purpose standing where you are. Promise standing where you are. Greatness standing where you are. Victory standing where you are. Look up, my child. Look up, my child. Look up, my child. It's where your help comes from. Look up, my child. Look up, my child. Look up. It's where your help comes from.
Listen, I hope you enjoyed today's play of the day, okay? I want to let you know that that is my Grammy song, okay? I recorded that like 7-8 years ago, and I still believe that, just like all the songs I have, but that one specifically, God has great things for it. You know, I wrote that on my bedroom floor when I realized that my divorce was going to start because my marriage had come to an end, and God became Emmanuel to me in my bedroom on the floor. You know, I've met God over and over again in my life, and that was one of the times when I met Him. And I birthed this song out of that pain and out of that experience, because God said to me, "Hey, wherever you are, I am. There is no place that you can go, Jubilee, where I am not. I go before you. I go behind you. I go with you. I'm Emmanuel, God with you." And I'm like, "Yes, Lord, I receive it." And I hold that dear to me every day. So I hope you enjoyed it. I know it played a little bit longer, but baby, we needed that. Okay. I needed it. All right. So here we go. So thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Morning Cup of Jubilee. It is episode 29. Can you believe that? Come on. So today I want to talk to you about the power of a pause. That's the title of today's sip of inspiration. So this is probably not something that jumps out at us in our very busy lives. We don't always give this the spotlight, and that's the power of a pause, right? And think about it, just like a sentence needs a comma, right? A comma doesn't end a sentence, it puts itself in a position to say we've said this, we've done this, there's power before it, and there's going to be stuff that's going to happen after this comma, right? And so just like a comma acts for a sentence, that's exactly how it should be as we complete the thought of our lives, right? If we're thinking about our lives as a complete thought, right? That's where the comma goes, right? It goes to help us understand and make sense of what came before the comma. And it also lets us know there are things that are going to come after the comma. We're just stopping for a moment to take a breath, right? And so our lives need intentional pauses too. We're constantly moving. We got emails, we got kids, we got dogs, we got jobs, we got church, we got committees, we got sororities, we got fraternities, right? We have obligations. And so this is legitimate. All of this is valid, right? Even relaxing, vacationing, taking in our favorite shows, right? All of it's good. But without pauses, sometimes we can be on overload. We can become overwhelming, all because we didn't take that pause to just take a deep breath, right? And so a pause, it doesn't mean the story's over, right? Like I said before, it simply gives us a moment to breathe, to reflect, to reset before continuing the journey. Okay. So today I want to share just 3 quick ways you can use the power of a pause to refresh your spirit and stay aligned with your goals as we head into this new season. Fall is coming, right? Fall is practically almost here, but I won't rush it because I still want to keep my toes out and wear my flip flops. Okay. But anyhow, so 3 things, right? One, we pause to breathe. Just like when we're reading a text and we read a sentence and we see a comma and we pause, right? We don't come to a full stop like a period, we pause, right? So pause to breathe, pause to take a step back, to take a breath, to release the weight of doing too much, doing a lot. And sometimes I ain't gonna hold you, sometimes people might be like, well, just stop doing too much, do less than. It's like, well, that's not really the way my life's set up, right? And I'm speaking from experience. That's me, right? Sometimes life is just a lot. Sometimes you're supporting people, right? You have different obligations. You're raising kids. You're juggling more than one job, right? Like life is lifing, right? And so sometimes you can't stop, right? But I do want to encourage you to build in times to pause, right? Just like I said, a comma is not the end. It's a moment to just gather yourself, right? So that's one, pause to breathe. Secondly, pause to reflect. Okay. The whole thing is we keep on going and going and going and going and going and going, right? In life. But where else do we do that? If we get in our car and we drive somewhere along the way, there's going to be a yield sign telling us to slow down and gently merge into oncoming traffic, right? Or not oncoming traffic, but into traffic, right? Or to stop to let other people go, right? So there's pauses that we experience all throughout our lives, but sometimes we don't acknowledge them personally. You go to Starbucks, whether you're on the drive-through line or you go in the store, you're on a line. Baby, you got to pause because there's people before you. There's things coming before you, and you can't just bum rush your way up there because you want your caramel macchiato with dairy-free salted caramel cold foam. You got to wait, you got to pause. Okay, so we need to take a lesson from what life naturally does and then put that into our own personal practice. Pause to reflect. How is this going? I have come this far. I've lived January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August is halfway done. How's it going? Am I feeling this? Am I liking this? Am I appreciating this? Are there some adjustments that I want to make? Are there some things that I'm like, yo, this was dope. I'm gonna keep on doing this. Whatever it is, you can't really get to that place without a moment of reflection. So pause to reflect. Reflect on your wins, reflect on your losses, reflect on where you might need to readjust, and reflect on where you might need to pat yourself on the back, which leads me to my third point, pause for enrichment and celebration, right? So Sometimes we just need to pause to reevaluate, reassess our toolkit, right? Like maybe I came out with guns blazing because of a situation I was going through. Maybe somebody just got on my nerves and I was just and maybe it worked. Maybe Wanda don't bother me no more, right? Wanda, I'm sorry if you're out there and you're watching this. I don't even know a Wanda for real, for real. Well, I do, and she's a wonderful person. But Wanda, if you watch, I'm not talking about you. I just threw a name out there, okay? But like maybe you came out with guns blazing to address the situation, but maybe you've evolved since then. You're like, you know what? I really didn't need guns for that. I just needed to pray. I just needed to approach the situation with kindness. I just needed to see this issue or this scenario from the other person's perspective. And so I'm going to, for the rest of this journey, put those weapons away. I don't need them for the rest of the journey. I'm going to pick up kindness. I'm going to pick up active listening. I'm going to pick up another tool to put in my toolkit for the rest of the journey because I don't need that anymore. Right. And so pausing for enrichment, right, is to gather new tools, to drop unnecessary baggage and burdens and things that we've been carrying that. And I'm not going to, sometimes we needed them. But as we evolve and as we continue to go forward, this moment allows us to say, don't need it anymore. And you get to drop that stuff and pick up new tools so that we can develop new healthy habits to finish the journey, to complete our thoughts. Right. And so drop unnecessary burdens, baggage, invest in your growth. Okay. That's pause for enrichment. And then also connected to that is pausing for celebration. You know how I feel about celebration. Celebrate how far you've come, right? Now, as I get older, you know, the old people used to say when I was a kid, right? I ain't where I want to be, but I sure ain't where I used to be. Now that did not mean anything to me when I was 7. But now that I'm 43, almost 44 on September 15th, hallelujah, it means so much more. I'm not where I want to be, but I ain't where I used to be. You feel me? Like I'm evolving, I'm growing, and I'm proud of who I am and who I am becoming and who I am allowing myself to be. Flaws and all, failures and all, successes and all, learning and all, growth and all. Right. And so we get to do that. We get to celebrate ourselves, how far we've come, and understand that joy is like fuel, just like faith is fuel, right? The joy of the Lord is our strength. Joy is fuel, right? A hopeful outlook, an optimistic outlook that, you know what, it gets better as I keep going and take moments to pause and reflect and enrich myself and celebrate and breathe, right? And and just be that I get to become the most beautiful version of myself. Huh? Right. And so that is today's sip of inspiration. I really, really pray that that blessed you. And I want you to repeat after me this affirmation, right? I honor the power of a pause. In my stillness, I breathe, I reflect, and I grow. I honor the power of a pause. In my stillness, I breathe, I reflect, and I grow. Thank you so much for tuning in to Morning Cup of Jubilee. This was episode 29, The Power of a Pause. Listen, shout out to everybody who's subscribing to It's Jubilee TV. I said that I wanted to get up to 500 subscribers and then 1,000 and then a bazillion. And I went from 250 something subscribers to now 306 subscribers in the past 4 to 6 weeks. Thank you. Please keep sharing this. Please keep inviting people to become a part of the It's Jubilee TV community. And again, shout out to all of you. I love you. I really, really pray that you have an amazing day and that you take the power to pause. Love ya.